It's time for Chat with Chuck, live from Windsor, California, discussing stuff on Chuck's mind, life, attitudes, and stuff. And now, your host, Chuck the DJ.
Man, are you kidding me? Oh, gracious. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Tuesday. And I feel like a complete idiot, which is kind of really nothing new for me sometimes. But I just realized that I was sitting here and for the last 15 minutes, and there was probably dead silence out there. Um, because I started the I started the mix, and I was hearing it through my headphones, and I didn't have the fader up on my controller. So Deb and Sam and whoever else might have been out there, as I thought you were sitting there listening to some great island reggae music. You could hear music? Oh, okay. Oh, good. Because I realized my fader was down, and I'm like, okay, so technology. I assumed if my fader was down, you couldn't hear anything. I don't know. Well, welcome in. That is so weird. I don't like, actually understand it. But you heard music too? Okay, well, hell, that's the. I wonder. Oh, you know what? I bet you. Okay, see, I know what I did. Okay, good. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I made a mistake. Um, Deb on a streak. Um, boy. For those of you that use the controller, now I don't know about you, but my Denon controller, when I turn my virtual DJ on, one of the things that I have to do is I have to move my sliders, my volume sliders up and then down, so they coordinate with the virtual DJ program, and same with my crossfader. Um, it automatically, um, when you turn it on, it automatically on virtual DJ, it's automatically all the way up. It shows full volume. So that's good actually then, because the music was going out there even though I had my volume things down. I guess I assume, I don't know what. I am technology is not my friend. As I have stated just a number of times, I've talked about my lack of ability when it comes to the technical aspect of the show. It has eluded me on a lot of levels. I am not good with this kind of thing. When I started streaming 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago now, I guess I started on Mixcloud. There was a gentleman by the name of DJ Blast who I knew on Maui, and he has since moved to New York City to make it, and he's doing very well as a DJ in New York City. But he actually took me by the hand, and he was already streaming on Mixcloud, and basically took me by the hand and said, "Okay, we turned on our computers. He was on Maui, I was here in California, and he said, go to this website. Okay, great. Okay, good. Now download. Click on that button there. And basically, just walked me through exactly how to set this stuff up on the computer. Original Slack. How you doing? Thank you for popping in. Um, so and then at that point he got me to the point to where I could actually stream with the computer. He got the programs. He told me, handheld me, basically going to the websites, and click here, put here, adjust this here, do. And then from that point, I had two technical moderators that I would give access to my computer, because the animations, the redemptions, all those kind of things. I have no idea how to do. DJ Trish, how you doing? DJ Hack, welcome in. Um, and my very first technical moderator was a guy named Mike, and you might know him now as Mashup Mike. Mashup Mike, if you know Mashup Mike on Maui, when I first met Mike, he was not a streamer. He was just a viewer, just a guy who liked my shows. I was playing primarily mashups back then when I first started. That's what I enjoyed playing. But Mashup Mike was an IT computer dude, and so he was helping me out. And when time came, at one point I find, Mike, you've been helping me out so much. Let me send you some money. Let me give you some money. And he goes, no. I really like those mashups that you play. Just send me some mashups that you like. And so I sent him, like, I don't know, 30 or 40 mashups that I liked, and he started collecting mashups, and then he started about a year into that. He started streaming into the Mashup Mike that you all know and love now. If you know Mashup Mike, he's a partner. He's gone big time on Twitch, but he started on Twitch as my technical moderator. Amazing guy. And the other guy who takes care of the technical aspect of my show with hands-on is Jimbo Slice Chicago. And Jimbo Slice, both of those guys have remote access to my computer. And when I have a problem, when I need something really bad, I just contact one of them. I know how to basically do like some scenes. Some scenes and change things a little bit like that. I can make a scene, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the nuts and bolts of the computer and making it work, I have no idea. Even like the redemptions that Slack are dropping the balls here and stuff. I have no idea how to set that up. I no idea whatsoever. That's why very little changes on my streams, because I don't know how to do anything, and nor do I care to learn. I feel that there are people in this world that do things well. Let them do what they do, right? Don't try to tell them how to do it. When I'm out on the road DJing, which is what I do primarily for my living, most of you know that already, I like to get maybe a few ideas from a bride and groom or a corporate or whatever, but don't tell me nuts and bolts how to do it. Don't tell me how I do that, Let me do my job. Trish says, I learned all of it on Twitch. And you can go on Twitch. You can get help from people on Twitch. You can go on YouTube. You can follow YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. I have tried to do that a few times, and I've gained a little knowledge that way. But it really comes down to people who know the stuff, who know the ins and outs of things, can do things so much quicker, so much easier. Play that song that goes, yeah. At live shows, yeah, or the best is, hey, play this song, when people just shove their phone in your face, that's the best part. That's what I did, and other people helped me learn, and that's great, and see, Trish, you are willing to do that, but I'm not. I just soon spend my time on the golf course or hanging with my wife or something rather than learning something that I can have somebody else do. Sam Nation said, I made my career on having the ability to figuring stuff out. And Trish likes learning. See, I don't. I didn't do well in school. I coasted through high school. I didn't go to college or any of that kind of stuff. I would bet if I was a kid now and like in school or whatever, and I had the problems learning or studying or being in class, I would bet that they would probably, do some sort of test on me and find out that I had some sort of learning disability, something going on that because I have a hard time grabbing that, you didn't do well in school either. That kind of comes, I'm a very casual individual, I'm very, I kind of do what I do. Let me do what I do, stay in my box, all that kind of stuff. Original Slack says, that's how I learned most of my AV skills. I had a little bit of training, but most of what I learned was on my own, messing around with stuff. And I do a little bit of that. And I have to, because I'm out on the road with my DJ gear, and I've got my lights, and I've got my sound, and all that kind of stuff. And so if something's not working, I do need to be able to troubleshoot it to a degree, and do what I can to get it up and running. And I can always get it up and running. Sometimes I will get to the point to where I'll be like, you know what, I don't want to make it worse, right? It's working. I can Mickey Mouse this. This is the workaround to make it work. But I don't I don't want to make it worse because I don't want to stop the show when I'm out live. People are paying me lots and lots of money to be performing. The last thing I need to do is screw something up so I can't at least perform, and that's a big deal. Want to learn graphics. Want to learn graphics. Very interesting. Sam, the graphics guru in our midst right here, and what I've seen on Twitch lately, it seems to be a thing. I don't know. Maybe y'all have seen it. It seems to be. I saw it on one guy's stream, and I saw it on another guy's stream, and I saw it on another guy's stream, and I finally asked one guy, and he told me kind of about it. Is the like the borders, what you're seeing around on screen? And I'm told they're AI generated borders, and they're very clean looking. They're very nice looking. They're very theme stream specific. For example, if it's a rock stream, I've seen some nice rock streams, or I've seen some oldie streams, or just yacht streams. And I'm told that there's a program out there that is being used, and it's an AI program. And I again, I haven't used it. I haven't asked them, but I've been told that if I want to know it, they'd have me go ahead there. I have a rock stream in my backyard. You guys gotta love Hack. Oh, there he is, KGB, AI generated. Yeah, and that's very pop. KGB, I sent you a note. Do me a favor, check your whispers or check your Facebook message. I was very concerned about you. Yeah, and it looks very clean and very very nice. And AI, I think, is making. My wife hates AI with a passion. But I go back and forth on it because I don't want it to like take too many. Thank you. I'm glad that's probably why you popped in, KGB. The AI stuff. It's a tool. It's useful and it does some very cool things. Do I worry about it going too far and taking people's jobs out? A perfect example. Yesterday at the golf course. It's a tool. Yesterday at the golf course, I was looking out over through the pro shop. I was actually looking out onto the course, and there it was, going up and down the fairways, was a robot lawnmower, and honestly, it's about this big, and it was mowing the golf course, and it's not necessarily AI generated. But it is computer generated, and it's GPS oriented, and it's got a feature that if it's going down the golf course, if it's mowing the grass, right? If it senses a golfer around, it will stop, and it will say something like "nice shot." There's a number of it'll say "nice shot" or "good swing" or "have a great day." You bought a RoboMower last year. Yeah, this thing is about this big. Honestly, can you see this? It's about this big. It would take probably a year to mow our golf course. $14,000. Let me say it again. $14,000. Right? You know how big a golf course? Even if it just mows the fairways, which it can actually mow the second cut too, but just amazing. You would need a bunch of those. It is very cool, Trish. But it was so funny because it'd been there for a couple of days, but I hadn't been at the course for a while. And I looked out, and I'm seeing this thing going down. I'm like, what the hell is that? I thought somebody's Roomba got loose or something. I didn't know what it was. But is that AI? I don't know. Maybe it's not considered AI, but it's a machine that is intelligent to a degree. Diet Dr. Pepper, thank you. So yeah, I don't know. And of course, you can go into AI. You can go into the machines. They're making them smarter. They're becoming. You see the videos of the robots looking more and more human. And of course, I'm thinking Terminator. How far along do we get before the machines start taking over the world? Roomba mower. Yeah, KGB. So I think I've killed a few minutes here, and as I like to do at the beginning of the show, so I can before I get into the meat and potatoes of the show, I had planned today um, to do a little. I'd been asked about Chuck history, about how I got started as a mobile DJ, what did I do, early shows and things like that, and I had planned on going into that today. But what I did was I reached out. I reached out to 4 or 5 of the individuals that have been involved with me or had been involved with me from my start of my days as a mobile DJ, and asked for stories or ideas, things that they remember. And a couple of them got back to me, but not everybody has got back to me yet. So I'm going to hold off on that show. But there are some great stories that some of my friends have had that I had completely forgotten about the early days. And I'm talking, some of you know this already, my very first DJ show was in 1969, but I probably got serious back when I was in junior high, which is probably like, 71, 72. And I did it all the way through high school. I graduated in 74. And then even and then I went full time in 1985. I went full time as a mobile DJ. But so being a mobile DJ, being out there doing school dances and parties and stuff like that, has been in my life basically since 1969. And I was going to touch base on that, but I haven't got all my stories yet from my friends. They said 67, so I'm going to hold off on that show. Instead, some of you know this because I reached out to some of you. Um, I've gotten static about harping on a subject, but I'm going to harp on raid trains again, because I had a situation a couple weeks ago on a raid train that bothered me, and it's very easy to bother me. It really is. I get bothered easy. Um, but So I want to talk a little bit about raid trains. Yeah, you have some issues with raid trains. I do, but I want to remind everybody there's this phone number that's going across the top up here, right? And again, my buddy, one of my technical moderators, helped me set this up, and you can call that phone number. It's a leave a message phone number, and uh, a thought, an idea for a show, something to say. So, in since this line has been live for about 3 months now, I've gotten exactly 2 calls and 2 messages. This first one I think is an idea for a show. I thought that they wanted to give me an idea for a show, but let me play it for you.
So I was wondering what's better, cats or dogs? Can you settle this once and for all? What's better, cats or dogs?
So that was one of them, and so I'm thinking now I've got to have a whole show about cats and dogs, about what's better, and I may have to put a questionnaire out there to find out what the general consensus is as cat and dogs. Now this next one, and again these are anonymous. I have no idea. I have no idea who put these on, but this next one. Here, I'll just play it.
Oh, Chuck, you're so hot on the show.
There you go. I might keep that one for later. You want to hear it again? Okay, hold a second.
Oh, Chuck, you're so hot on the show.
Yeah, and I know I'm the hottest DJ streamer out here, so I thought that was kind of funny. So Deb, are you asking about about the cats and dogs? That was a message. You want to hear it again? Okay.
So I was wondering what's better, cats or dogs? Can you settle this once and for all? What's better, cats or dogs?
I'm better looking than you, Slack. I don't know. We'll see. You know what, Trish? I know it wasn't my wife. What I like is funny stuff. What I think more people need, right, in life, is smiles and giggles, right? It could be the same caller. I think the voices are a little bit different, but maybe. But whatever it takes to make you smile and laugh and giggle and be happy in life, that's what more people need. Okay, so that's that. Never surrender. That's the deal. So, getting back to raid trains, I had a situation a couple weeks ago, and as I said earlier, I get bothered easy. You know, I have a certain mentality. I have a certain thinking about raid trains, about participating and putting them on. Um, uh, I mean, it's how I feel. I don't think uh, some people feel the same way. Since I've got my responses, let me share my thoughts a little bit here. If you are on a raid train, this is how I feel. Right? Okay, this is just me. Okay, right? Got it? Okay. I feel if you are on a raid train, you are on one raid train a day, right? Not two raid trains. And I think it's rude to be on two raid trains on the same day, because I think that's competing. You know, there's only so many viewers out there watching or that watch, right? And if you're on two trains, it's confusing because you've got to promote each train, right? If you're on a train, you got to promote it. I mean, and personally, again, this is how I feel. And feel free if you're in the chat if you want to chime in. I don't think that's right. If you're on a train, stay on your freaking train. Don't compete. Okay, there's that. Okay, B. If you're on a train, if you're a streamer, if you're on a train, you don't compete against your own train. Okay, by that I mean, and this is a situation, is that let's say I'm on a train from 4 to 6, just picking dumb numbers here. You know, you don't go on before or after. You don't go on at all. Actually, that day of that's how I feel. You know, and for the same reason, you're competing against the train, right? And I think, and I think it's rude, and I don't want to, piss people off or get people mad at me yet again, but that's how I feel, right? If you, especially, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but especially if it's a fundraiser type stream train, right? Because they're trying to raise money for XYZ. I've been on heart cancer, breast, women's. I mean, all kinds of trains for benefits. People, individuals. Da 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 da. And I'm a baby streamer. I don't have a lot of people, but I mean, I do have some people that follow me that come to my shows. And if I'm on a train, I want those people to come see me on that train. I don't want to, and I want those people to support the train. And I don't want to be giving them a reason to get off the train and go somewhere else. So, I put a questionnaire out to some individuals that actually run trains, right? I didn't actually shoot it. I didn't shoot a questionnaire out to anybody on trains, but because I wanted to know, because one of my moderators tells me that if I want to go on, go on. Nobody else cares. She said nobody else cares. If you want to go on later, go on, do that. Slack says, I've seen people do their set on a raid train, raid out to the next CG, then immediately start back up again on their own. Yes, and that is, we talk about this. Sorry about that. The situation I had, well, I'm just gonna bring it up. The situation, I'm not gonna name names. The situation I had, I was on a raid train, and it was a pretty cool raid train with a bunch of people, and I was scheduled to go on at 3:00, which of course I did, but at 1:00, and the train was going all day, and at about 1:00, the conductor of the train went live on his own, right? And this is a guy who gets a lot of people, right? So I immediately noticed watching the train, because I try to follow. If I'm on a train, I try to follow the train all day. I may not be in every chat and watch every chat, but I get on the train first thing in the morning and I just ride the train all day. I immediately noticed a drop in viewers from when he went on right? From when the train had a bunch of people, he went on. A bunch of people that were on the train, on his train that he sponsored, that he put on, went over to his show as the train kept going with fewer viewers. Okay, damn Pete, how you doing? Now again, um, uh, uh, I should get to these. Everybody can do what they want to do. When I confronted him about that, his explanation, and it was a good explanation, and I understood it. His explanation was that his normal scheduled stream was at that time. His weekly streams were already on and so and then so he went on early, and then I was on for an hour, and then I rated into him. Right? That was the plan, and then he rated into the next DJ, right? So that next DJ got a crap load of people because he had this guy's people already, and then plus the people that were on the train that were in me. So he got this guy way over here. But anyway, I just thought that was rude. He explained it. He said, you know what? That's the day that I always stream on that day. I always do those hours, and so I just scheduled around it and whatever. And I get that. And there's no rules. All right, so let me read a couple of these real quick. I normally do a 3-hour set on that day, and I only did 1 hour because I was on that train. I'm not dropping names. Okay, so so these messages I got are from people who actually put on trains, right? And that's right. So the question was something along the lines of, how do you feel about people that do that play against the train? And follow the train. Do they follow the train? Okay. I personally don't care, but that's mostly due to the casual nature of our setup. As much as I like to say to others, go for it if the other train is okay with you being on two also. So that was the question. What about guys being on two trains? I'm also the type who will never double train on any given day. Raid trains only get people so far when it comes down to real support anyway. So I don't see it as a big deal. By that, I mean, it's a great way to gain followers, but not the best way to gain actual dedicated fans to your stream. I know many people who boosted their follower count into the thousands and then still struggle to get 10 people to tune in when they go live outside of a train. That's why I say go for it and leave it up to the individual to decide what they want to do. In the end, I support both approaches and have never, ever even considered holding it against anybody. Okay? And so that's I do it. I'm a train conductor for once a month for the certain train. I don't want to mention that it is, and I have just mostly helped fill the slots. I used to feel the same way as you. However, no one seems to, like you said, care. I only do. The only time I do two, which isn't very often, but is when someone is really having a hard time filling a slot, and then I'll jump in. I've only done this a half a dozen times so far, and that I can understand. I have a couple people, and I don't think I've ever done that. But, I know some people that throw on some smaller trains, and sometimes they have a hard time filling the train up. And so, yeah, I can see how, well, okay, I want to help you out. I don't want your train to die, so I'll grab a spot, even though I'm on this train over here. I still kind of go, but I understand that. This guy says, I generally follow the same guidelines, but figure after a few hours, I'm good to stream again. Now, I may not stay on the train for a variety of reasons. Most common is if during the workday I have to do my set and then get back to work. Others include DJs playing songs or styles that I lose my interest, and DJs who have persistent equipment issues during their stream. The latter is very distracting and annoying, especially DJs who always seem to have equipment issues during every stream. That's a whole nother, almost a whole, equipment issues are almost a whole nother thing. So he follows the train, but if he has to go back to work, he doesn't. But, he feels like after a couple hours, if he wants to go back on, he feels that's okay. Next one's, I agree with you. If you're on a train, support the train. Or supporting the train should be a priority. Not helping to promote the train is another thing. When you're on a monthly train, That's the only train you should be on that day. Support your fellow DJs and be in their chats, and that's very true. Um, this one, the English was a little weird because it's not his primary language. He says, "Well, my friend, I think you are very right, but how can we conduct people's minds? How can we change their minds?" I think is what he's saying. I have seen DJs that show up 5 minutes before they get a raid and then disappear after finishing a stream. Some of them go and play by themselves, but what can I do? If I start to call attention to it and put rules, we are not going to have DJs for the raid. I know that I'm. Oh, that was a personal note here. Let's stop that. I really don't know what to do to clear DJs' minds. I wish that all DJs to stay on a channel, talking and have some fun. So he's saying that yeah, he agrees with me. But the same thing, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. No matter what. My Salami, thank you. I was looking down. I wasn't watching the chat. I apologize. I've been lurking since I started. And we all have lives outside Twitch, Slack. Exactly right. And to take care of the things, at the very least, lurk the entire train. And that's what I do. I get up in the morning. I turn the train on. I might chime in a few times. I'm having my tea in the morning. But then you're right. We have life. I go to the golf course. I go hang out with my wife. I go have lunch and stuff like that. But I'm riding the train, if for no other reason than the numbers. I feel the numbers are important. People like to have people. And then even if I'm out with my wife at a store, if we got a couple of seconds, I'll whip out my phone. I'll log on, and I might drop a couple of emotes and thing. Just to be there. I don't think that's a whole lot to ask, but okay, so here we go. As a person who puts on, let me a second. Let me take a swip here. Slack, exactly right, totally. Drop in and say hello if you can. I want to remind people who are watching this on YouTube, because I do have a small YouTube following. I'll remind you one more time that we do have a live chat going on. So sometimes I do talk to the chat, and that throws me off my train, as it were. Okay. As a person who puts on trains once in a while, I don't mind at all if a streamer is following their own weekly schedule in addition to my train. I don't expect every streamer to be glued to my train all day. If they want to, that's great. But I have no expectations that they need to be. However, it gets annoying when a streamer does a pop-up against your train, or the train conductor themselves starts streaming against their own train. I don't get that at all. When I join a train, I try to have it be a day that I'm not usually streaming, or enough hours apart that I'm not colliding streams. Another annoying thing is when a streamer is actively promoting their actively promoting their other same-day stream that is competing with the train schedule. On a raid train, don't tell viewers you'll be back on in 2 hours after your time. It's just rude. And bang, bang, bang. I mean, this really, for me personally, this really hits home, because how many times have I been, listening to a train, and some DJ's on the train and says, "Oh, hey, I only got 35 more minutes, but then I'll be back on in an hour." Like, so you're just trying to derail the train, and I don't know if there's I don't know if there is a shortage of DJs who like to be on trains. So again, I've only put on a couple of raid trains myself for birthdays for my mods. But if I was a person who put on trains, and if that happened, if a streamer did that to me, I would have second or third thoughts about inviting them back. Original Slack. When I'm a conductor, I try to be there for the whole thing, and it's especially important to be able to jump in case there's difficult. Yes, Slack. How come you've never been invited me to one of your trains? Anyway, I feel the same way. The couple of trains that I put on from both for my moderators. I ride those suckers all day, and I that day I don't plan golf. I don't plan going out with my wife. I don't plan, whatever. I was there, which is why I know that I will not put on any more trains, because my God, the people that put on trains, the effort and that is the stuff that is involved in putting on trains herding the cats is an easy thing compared to putting on a raid train. You'd only done 3 over 3 years? Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, conductor, and really, the people that put on trains, especially if they're like a just a fun train, an oldies train, or hey, it's Wednesday night, let's put a train on, or hey, it's Sunday, let's put a train on, or whatever, those we know. But the people that put on trains that are like, like I say, the fundraisers or whatever, oh my gosh, this, and they don't get anything for it. They're not getting paid to put the trains on. It's just out of the goodness of their heart, and my God, how hard it is. Okay, let me finish this one here. When creating a train and inviting streamers, I do not. It's funny. I should have read this first, right? When creating a train and inviting streamers, I do not invite people back if they have messed up on one of my trains with stuff like raiding out and then immediately coming back on, not paying attention to their time zone adjusted stream time, and streaming anyway at the wrong time has happened, or completely forgot that they're on the train at all, and that's happened too. And yeah, I mean, when I'm on a train, I do try to let the people know that, hey, I am home, and if something pops up, if there's a problem, I can jump on. I'm fortunate enough in my situation to have my streaming gear, all my green screen, it's all set up 24/7. The only thing I have to do is plug my cable in. So that's it. So I try to be there and try to be available. Also, not sticking to the theme of the stream and I know some people that have jumped on streams just because they wanted to be on train rather, just because they wanted to be on a train. And there's one that I'm on fairly regularly, a lot, and occasionally they'll get a streamer on that, like, that this stream has a train or a theme, right? DC Artist, how you doing? Especially birthday trains that has a theme. That sounds like a dig there, Artist, and that's something going on. DC Artist in the house. Love DC Artist. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to be on a stream, I'm on one tomorrow night. It's a 70s and 80s stream, right? Artist it has. So I try to stay within the 70s and 80s. Now, if I do pop into the 90s, I will say something. Oh, this one's not going to be, or whatever. But it's But if it's on, especially if it's an artist stream, like a Prince stream that I'm on, or a Green Day stream, or whatever, or it's a rock stream and you play Barry Manilow, I guess maybe some people might consider Barry Manilow rock. I don't know. Okay, I got a couple more here. I think we're almost done. I think if you feel you need to play while the train is moving, then that's not the train for you. Because why would you compete with a train when you're a part of it? If some of the people stayed on the train and you popped on, then they're going to leave to come and support you, which is not fair to the others that are still playing on the train. And that's kind of what I was saying. I wasn't going to. Barry is awesome, DC Artist, and I love Barry. But I was. But he was the first thing I could think of when I thought about that. The Prince train, yeah, Sam. That's kind of where I was what I was thinking. But I didn't want to name it. Yeah. So a lot of these are they're all kind of most of these agreed with me to a degree, but they're like whatever. I have been on trains. On certain days, but I try to not let the trains collide. I do think if you're on a train, you should be able to watch the entire train all day and participate. I think it's rude when people go on before or after or go on whenever they want. I also think people should start, I love this one, I think people should start 15 minutes early and listen to their stream before they go live to make sure their equipment is working. I don't think it's very supportive when you go off and do your own thing when you're on a raid train. I get most of the viewers most days because we support the train the entire day. Again, the same thing. The guy played more cameo than Prince. Yeah. um, okay, and here's the last one, and that I'll subject you to, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I agree. When I do the raid trains, I like everyone to not jump right back on right away. Yeah, even if they wait a few hours after, that's fine. However, I do like to have them support everyone and just come along for the ride. I know we have had a few that actually mentioned that they will be going back on again in a couple of hours when they're doing their raid train. This is not something that I am a fan of. So if you need to go on again, just go on later. But then later, we are not paying them, so I guess they can do what they like. But I look at it as just try and help each other out and build our communities. Um, so yeah, I mean, so I think I think most people would prefer their streamers that are on the train um, not not compete against the train. But I think most people understand. Um, well, they understand. A, they understand they can't stop them, and then B, they understand that people like. I mean, people like to stream. We're streamers. We like to stream. Um, you know, tomorrow night is a perfect example for me. I normally do a Wednesday night show, 9 o'clock. It's called Hump Day Mellow, and I normally start that at 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Now, tomorrow night, I'm on a raid train that my time doesn't start till 10, right? So I'm actually it's actually a battle in my mind of do I want to go on at 9 o'clock on my normal time, or do I want to try to just hold off and go on like at 9:30 or quarter to 10? Again, I don't get that many viewers on my normal streams anyway, so it's not like if I go live, I'm going to draw 30 people away or whatever like that. So I'm still up in the air about it. I probably won't know what I'm going to do till tomorrow night, because I do like streaming, and I no, I am not the last streamer. Oh wait, am I the last streamer? Oh yes, I am the last streamer. Yes, my Salami. I am the last streamer. I am the caboose, which is a position on a lot of streams that I kind of like. I kind of like being the caboose. Um, Not always. There, if we're going to talk about Chuck preferences when it raid trains, which I know you're all concerned about. I know you all want to know like what is Chuck like. Um, I like 2 hours on a trade train. I don't like streaming for an hour. It's almost. I mean, I've done it. I will do it, especially if it's a good cause or I happen to like the theme. I was on a David Bowie raid train on January 8th. I like Bowie. They were only 1 hour slots. And Sam Nation likes streaming for an hour. His shows are an hour. I feel like I just got started. I feel like in an hour I just got started. Um, the Another raid train that I'm on frequently is the No Pants raid train, which is on Sunday nights, and I like being that caboose. Um, and normally I only stream 2 hours anyway. 2 hours is 2.5 hours is a Chuck stream time, you know, and that's kind of what I go. But as the caboose, if something's happening, yeah, DJ Hack, yeah, DJ Hack has trouble streaming for less than 12 hours. Dance Dance DJ Deb is the same way. Dance Dance DJ Deb and DJ Hack, the two mega streamers. Um, Dance Dance DJ Deb says I like 1 hour slots on days that I work. The new hour DC artist Hack has trouble. Yeah. Um, but yeah, yeah. You got to be in awe of Hack. I mean, I've rated Hack at nighttime, and then gone to bed and got up and had breakfast and realized he's still on. Deb is the same way. Deb will do that too. But I like for raid trains. I like 2 hours. Um, I prefer the caboose, but I don't really prefer to be like the 10 or 11 o'clock caboose. And I know I like the 8 o'clock caboose. That's cool. 8 o'clock caboose is cool for me because if I do 2 hours, that's 10 o'clock. If I want to do more, that's 11 o'clock. My time. And that's fine. And I take the good and bad as far as being the caboose. I understand. I get it. As the caboose, the train's been running all day long. the conductor, the viewers, the people, the biddies, the subs, they've been getting thrown along all day long. As the caboose, I'm not going to get the support probably that the third or fourth or second or third DJ gets because there's more people, and it's earlier in the day. And I get that, and I'm fine with that. I I don't do mornings. I'm not a morning streamer. I mean, I have on occasion, but I'm not a morning streamer. I have morning streams that I really like. I'm last one of my favorite streamers or streams is well, I don't know if he's still here or not, but and I've said this before, so it's this. I'll drop this name. It's KGB. Has his Easy Like Sunday Mornings, and I like that show, and that's mainly because as a mobile DJ, a lot of times on Saturday, Friday, Saturday nights, I'm working. I get beat to crap. I get home late. I'm tired. When I wake up in the morning, I just want to chill out. I just want to relax, and I like the easy stuff. And KGB on Sunday mornings, although he wasn't on last Sunday morning, but on KGB on Sunday mornings, that's a great show for me. I know that there are people that like to get up in the morning and they want that bumping stuff. They want to keep going. They want to jam. They want that hot stuff to kind of get them going for the day. That's not me. There are some amazing streamers that do that. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how to get up and bump. That, yeah. So that's just me. You people in the chat, you may be different. That's one of the cool things about Twitch is that most of the time, and I won't say always, but I'll say most of the time, whatever mood you're in, you can find somebody playing tunes that will soothe that soul of yours. Sometimes I'm in a rock mood. I want to hear some rock, right? And I'm like, rock me, baby. And, I can't find it because it is hard finding. It's a little hard finding rock during the day. It's usually easier at nighttime, but it is kind of hard to find in rock during the day. I like some of the dance remixes sometimes, some of the newer stuff, yeah, rock me everybody, not just Amadeus. That's sometimes when I'll go, well, you know what, I'm just going to turn my Spotify playlist on and do that. I wish there was more rock during the day, and not screaming rock. Everybody's different. I don't like screaming rock, but for whatever reason, Deb does a great shows. She does a great Sunday night show that I like, the oldies show. I wish that I could stay up later and listen to her because I like oldies because, I'm old. And that's a great show. There's so many all you guys in the chat here, Saturday morning Schoolhouse Rock sounds like a good raid train. Is that a train or is that just an idea? DC Artist has got a great show on Saturday morning. Speaking of which, she does her art, and it's a very chill show too. She does her art. You get to watch her draw. She did this great skull DJ head thing. I really 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 like. You're welcome, Deb. And I like her show because again, it's chill. It's in the morning. I think the music's really quiet, but her persona, she's like talking about their art, and I'm drawing here, and and it's very soothing. I like soothing in the morning. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Soothing. Conjunction junction. What's your function? Soothing chaos. That's a good term. Yeah. I do like your Schoolhouse Rock Saturday morning. My only problem is I can't. Because of my job, as a DJ, I can't plan stuff on Fridays or Saturdays. I do a lot of pop-ups. I'm not the king of pop-ups, right? But I have my 3 scheduled shows: my Monday night, my Wednesday night, and this show right here. This is my scheduled shows. Those are my 3 scheduled shows. But there's a lot of times where I will stream every single day of the week. because my wife goes to bed early, or she's gone. And again, like I said earlier, my gear's always set up. I can be home going, you know what, fuck it, let's just go on. Let's just go play some music. And and a lot of times I never know what I'm going to play. Like today, the pre-show music, I was playing this nice island reggae music, Hawaiian type stuff that I kind of like a lot. I was doing that today. We're going to play some music here when I finish up. I'm going to play some rock because I'm talking about the rock. I'm kind of in a rock mood. I think I'm going to start out with a Green Day song. But you know, it's the Raid Train's love-hate relationship with a lot of things, with a lot with a lot of deals. I know I've harped on Raid Trains, but next week what I hope to do is I think I'm going to try and do a Chuck retrospective, which I know probably is not a huge draw, but I have a couple people that have asked about it, and it will be cool to have it on YouTube for those people that are interested. And I'm really looking forward to some of the ideas or reminiscences that I've gotten from some of the guys and girls that have been involved with Spectrum Mobile DJ back in the day. If anybody has any kind of ideas, obviously, once again, chat with Chuck. Chat with me, give me an idea. Use the phone number, leave a message. I'll be happy to drop it.
Oh, Chuck, you're so hot on the show.
Yeah, I know. It's just I love that. I have no idea who that is. I'd love to be able to find out who that was, but the voice doesn't sound familiar to me. It was probably DC Artist, but I don't know. So anyway, I think I think I probably bored you enough with oh, God dang it! Do I have enough time to get into this? Okay, you almost spit your juice out. And no, it's not Mrs. Chuck. That is not my wife. Shared chat. We have talked about this. Oh wait, no. Let's talk about. Oh gosh, there's the other one. What was the other one? Oh crap! It just popped in my head and left. Shared chat. What was it? Oh. The new trend that I've seen, and I don't know how they're getting away with it, is 24/7 streamers. 24/7 streamers. What do you guys think about this? I think it takes away from the brand, right? I know there are some guys, some streamers that I like watching. Twitch shuts you off after 24 hours. They must come right back on. You have to restart. Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I did not know that. I want a real, and you know what, Sam Nation, I've always kind of felt that way about Twitch itself. I've of the mind, and I've been accused of talking too much during my streams when I have my mics, and not late night. I don't use my mic, but I have been accused of that. But I've been I've always been of the mind that if I want to just hear music, I don't want any interaction, I don't want I don't want to hear some DJ mouthing off, I'll just put on Spotify or iTunes or drop a CD in the player, whatever. Those been out one time. Here we go. I don't like it. Sam Nation, I don't like it. I want a real person, not a playlist. DC Artist says those been out. It's like Jukebox Channel, but you can't do requests. Yeah. Mama Maslami Alpha one time left it on because he wanted to see how long it would take before it got cut off, and he was on vacation, didn't want to disappoint his regulars, and it ends, I believe, 72 or 74 hours. It must depend because I know some did 48, Deb says. Well, okay, so getting back to my point was that it cheapens the brand, I think. Um, well, yeah, as Sam Nation said, yeah, I want that live DJ there because I want to watch. I like seeing somebody on screen. I like the interaction with the chat. Da 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 da. Yeah, we were collecting points, and he would come in. Yeah, Dan Pete, just a huge Chuck supporter, and I so much appreciate Dan Pete. Please make sure you're following that guy. You've done 36 hours, and Dan Pete, great games and stuff like that. Great guy to watch. And but there are guys now. I almost like if I see them on, if I see a 24-hour or a I don't know what you want to call them, 24/7 stream, a continuous stream, whatever you want to call it. I don't go on because whatever. I mean, I don't know. I just think it cheapens the brand. I mean, and I'm not really sure. Maybe I should put a questionnaire out. I'm not really sure what they get out of it. Right? Does it get you more viewers? Does it increase your follower count? Does it increase your bank account? One person I did hear through the grapevine, and they said, well, since MTV went off the air, that's their they're giving you MTV style. MTV's been off the air for a while, but that's okay. So I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Sam Nation, I'm not going to raid a stream with no streamer active on the channel chat, and I am the same way. We can look at Twitch Tracker to see the results. That's true. Go to Twitch Tracker, they're talking about not raiding people. Yeah, I wouldn't raid a automated show, and this is something I have done. Whereas I've raided somebody, and when I start the raid, the little notice comes up saying this is set for followers only. I'll stop the raid, and I'll re-raid somebody else. I will not raid into a followers only chat. I will not do it. That's again, that's just how I feel. I understand. I had it when I first started. I had followers only. I thought, well, great. If that's a great way to get followers, right? That's a great way to get followers because people want to chat in the chat. They got to follow me, But it's also, I think it's a deterrent, Deb says, okay, I run a lurk stream and get raids, but I also post so people. Yeah, that's different, Deb. You're there and you're, even if you're working off the side, you're still interactive in your chat as much as you possibly can be. And that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those guys or those individuals. I should quit saying that. I'm sorry. I need to be more PC. They put their playlist on and they go home or whatever. Yeah. Sam Nation says, yeah, followers only turns people off for sure. I believe that. DJ Hack says, I know a lot of female DJs set to followers only to avoid toxic people popping in. Hack, again, I understand that. The female DJs have a whole nother battleground going for them. And it's I can understand it. It's a little harder for me to relate to it. I still feel that followers only is not a great way to roll. And then the ones that there was one, I can't remember who it was, but it was a followers only chat, and I clicked, okay, well I want to chat, so I hit followers only, and I went to type in to send the chat, and it said, oh, you have to be a follower for an hour in order to chat, right? So that was even worse, because not only do I have to follow somebody to chat, but now I got to wait an hour. And I sort of understand they're trying to weed out the weirdos, King. But it's also to avoid spam bot raids. Okay. And that is the exception. Female DJs need that option. I think I remember that, but I don't remember who. Yeah. These I guess I don't guess. I know it just goes back to personal preference, whatever works for that individual, whatever that person wants to do. I am a firm believer in if you run a business, and this is the way I've always ran my DJ business. If you run a business, you have the right to run that business however you see fit, right? But at the same time, you have to be willing to accept the consequences of the actions or the reactions of how you choose to run your business, right? If you, my favorite example, many streamers set that up to thwart bot storms. I've never had a bot storm. I don't, but okay. DC, I'd probably prefer a bot storm. I don't know. No, let's see. I'm sorry, I lost the track here. And those never made sense, especially on a raid train. Yeah, never do it on a raid train. And most conductors will say, turn your followers only off. 10 minutes to an hour. I tried to tell someone on a raid train to turn it off to see. I did it when I started. Yeah, and then they had issues with their stream during the raid. Boy, the chats, welcome. My boy, DJ Ryan, my Pookie, how you doing? Sorry I'm late. Work got in the way. Hey, Ryan, I know we were talking about Twitch reality and work outside the stuff. DJ Ryan, my main mod. Are you streaming tonight? Speaking of which, DJ Ryan, are you here? You're gonna be on tonight. DJ Ryan usually does a 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time show on Tuesday nights, open format. He has different themes usually each week, but damn work, how dare them, Deb? Yes, exactly. DJ Ryan and I share a moderator, Jimbo/Chicago, who was a technical guy. I was streaming last night, and all of a sudden I got a raid from DJ Ryan. I got a one-person raid from DJ Ryan. And I was like, hey, Pookie, DJ Ryan is in the house. And Jim was like, no, that was just me using Ryan's name. I don't even know how he does that, but it freaked me out, Ryan, because I thought you raided me last night. Oh, Sam Nation, thank you for the subscription. Oh, can you hear that? I'm clapping for you. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I lost. Okay, DC artist. Somebody's going to have to clue me in on here because I think. Or hope maybe KGB did, and I just don't know about it yet. Hope you're healing over there too, KGB, depending upon what DC artist brought up. Yeah, okay, Ryan. I understand. I know how that goes. I know that you have that going on. He had knee surgery. Oh, I did not knee surgery. DJ Head. Thank you so much. You might know that. KGB knee surgery. My God, KGB, thank you for the 100 biddies, ladies and gentlemen. We have a hype train. I was going to end, but hey, I got a hype train, so I'm gonna keep the hype train going. Dance, DJ Deb, thank you so much. I had a train I was going on. I had a thought we were talking about, but I forgot what it was. Knee surgery. Yeah, that's not fun. That's a common thing guys talk about in the golf world, how that really screws up their golf game. And as most of you know, I'm kind of a golfer. That's my golf bag over here, that I keep close hand by. Wait, no, it's over there. Sorry. ACL yet again. So does that thing, yeah, hack? Yeah, I sort of. Well, I hack. Is what I do. Is that a thing that pops out, KGB? Is that something that happens? I don't know. ACL yet again. That means ACK. Now I know why I haven't seen him on. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Yeah, I it's funny because I sent KGB. I realized this morning. I guess it was this morning. I'm like, wait a minute. Have I just been missing his streams? Have I, because I'm busy or whatever, or did something happen? So I actually sent him notes this morning because I realized that I hadn't seen KGB on, And KGB is a fairly consistent, not common, system streamer. Sam Nation, thank you for the 200 biddies. Thank you so much. Level 1 hype train, 3 minutes left, a little less. I mean, I know we all have our own little worlds. We all have our things that we're doing. We have family. We have jobs. We have all kinds of stuff going on. And sometimes life gets in the way of Twitch. And it just took me a while to realize. I feel bad now that it took me so long to realize that how long KGB has been off, or when that actually happened. I feel bad that I didn't put two and two together. But as I said earlier, I didn't do all that well in school, so really not much to talk about. Okay, so we talked about the 24/7 automated streamer dudes or dudettes, and then what was the other one? The shared chat. The shared chat. I know we talked about the shared chat a couple times. When I first started talking about the shared chat, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about it. I didn't get it. But now I've done the shared chat. I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. I still don't know how to instigate a shared chat. I still have to rely on somebody sending an invitation. It's been a week. Wow. Well, KGB, we're sending you positive thoughts and love. I hope that it's getting better. Hope it'll get better. Gosh darn, I know that's it's got to be messed up. Deb says I won't do shared chat. She hates it. You want to tell me why? You want to give me a specific? I get it a little bit more now. Sam hates it too. For those of you that have been in my chats or been in my shows enough, one of my big things about the show is that for me, it's all about the chat. If I don't have an active chat, I'm out of there. Perfect example. Not last night, last Monday night. I got a couple good raids during my Motown and More show on Monday night, right? I was into the show. I think it was about 11:30. I had 140 some odd people in my chat. For the last 45 minutes or so, zero, nada, nothing. Nobody chatted. Nobody said a word. I was trying to say things and try to generate shit. Nobody was saying words. So I rated out. I might have rated Deb. I don't remember. But anyway, because for me, it's all about the chat. If there's an active chat, I'll hang. If the chat's quiet, I'm gone. I'm gone. So the thing about the shared chat is even if my personal chat is quiet, right? The chat is still going good. I'm still responding to the chat. I'm still interacting with that chat. That gives me the energy to keep playing. Now, is that good or is that bad? I've done 5 hours the other night, because the shared chat was going good, That's a long stream for me. I get a few new followers from the shared chat. But again, as we talked about earlier, just because you have followers doesn't mean you have viewers, but okay. So let's see. Sometimes it's hard to read who's in my stream, in my own mod. Sometimes, yeah. There is that. I know that as a streamer, if it's something being said in your stream, there's a little red circle around that name. It's hard, but the chat does move fast. I mean, it's hard to keep up with. And then I see rude people chatting and being explicit, and I see that too. And I get that, and I that's the good and the bad. And I'm still a little bit torn, but I'm still. I don't know if I'd say a fan, but I don't mind them as much. And sometimes when I'm playing, well, geez, actually last night was a perfect example too. Last night I was in the mood to keep playing, but the chat was kind of quiet. And I left about 10:30 last night, 10:15 last night. Sam Nation says adds more chaos in the chat, makes it harder to follow. Plus, it loses the show's focus if there is a theme. Um, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that one, Sam, because what's happening in the chat doesn't affect what I'm doing. Right now, you're a little different because when you're doing your battles and all that kind of stuff. Whereas when I'm streaming, it may be a theme, it may be a Motown night or a slow night or a rock night, but it doesn't really the chat's not really affecting that, right? Because the people in the chat they have no idea what the frick you're playing, so it doesn't really matter. So for what I'm playing, what I want to do, my vibe that I'm putting out there with my music doesn't matter to the far as the chat goes. I'm trying to catch up with the chat. Speaking of which, I get confused as a viewer. I start to answer someone and then realize they're not in another chat. Yes, I see that too. I do love the spam spam wars chat versus chat. DC Artist, what I love is the Autobots, like ReadyBot. And there's the other ones. DJ Troy is one of the guys that I do a shared chat with, and he's got bots. And when the bots start talking, that's funny. I think that's funny. Okay, so am I catching up here? But okay, so Sam says, but then you're playing to people who aren't paying attention. Again, they're not paying attention to me. They're paying attention to their DJ. Hopefully, the people on my stream are still paying attention to me. What I'm playing. We did that. Who can do the most emotes? Yeah, that's good. And there was somebody that I was doing one a while back where they weren't in my chat, but they were doing a dance battle with. With emotes. Okay, who's got the most, dancer butt, and so people were dropping in all these different emotes from all these different, I think there was 3 or 4 of us that were on this shared chat. And so all these different people are dropping all these, and and so yeah, like I say, I mean there's good and bad. I mean, and I don't always do it when I get invited. It kind of depends upon my mood. The other night I got invited to one, but I was kind of in a chill mood, and I just didn't want that hectic going on. So I declined. I declined that one because I just wanted a chill night, Or if I have a night where there's a lot of people in my chat, a couple weeks ago, and my chat's moving quickly, the last thing I want to do is throw a whole nother thing in there to confuse me. So it good and bad. Like I say, it's good and bad. But it just depends upon my mood. And you don't have to do the shared chat. DJ Ryan 22 says, as you know, I'm not a big fan of the shared chat. It kind of loses me as a viewer with people talking about stuff that's happened in another chat, but that's just me. Well, no, it's not just you, right? Obviously, other people feel that way too. If I found that that my regulars were not coming into my chat or were not hanging out because of the shared chat, right? If that truly bothered my regulars, I probably would not do the shared chat. And Hack, is one of those individuals that I share chat with. So don't take it personally if I say no. I usually ignore shared chat requests until a few hours into my stream. If my own chat slows down, then I accept the shared chat and things pick up again. Yeah, that's. So it just kind of depends. But again, I mean, I don't have a huge core audience. Lockpick, how you doing? Leaves the chat if it's shared. It's too confusing. I usually will leave too. So I mean, I don't know. So see now I'm starting to to second guess. My wife doesn't like the shared chats because it keeps me up later. Because, hey, 81 Xanadu, how you doing? DJ Hack makes sense. Somebody put a star on the calendar. Nobody has ever said that. Words have never been typed that says DJ Hack makes sense. That has never happened before. Thank you for popping in. Yeah, my wife is not a fan of the shared chat because it keeps me up later. And if I'm up later, that means I get up later. And my wife goes to bed early, and then she gets up early, and so she wants to have breakfast early. But if I sleep in, that screws up the whole breakfast morning thing. So my wife's not a huge fan of the shared chat, and obviously we're going overtime today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. And so shared chat on Twitch. I obviously no, I don't know. Well, it doesn't really give me a false sense of viewership, Ryan, because I know that those viewers aren't mine. But it does make me play longer because, as I just said, there's interaction. There's something going on in the chat, and I'm responding to people not even in my stream, but that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the chat, you know. So yes, I do play longer because of the chat. It doesn't give me a false sense of viewership because I understand. I mean, I think a while back, you know, I think I was on one with, and Hack might have been in there too. I think it was me and Troy and Hack and maybe somebody, and there was like, I don't know, 100 and some odd people. It shows you on the viewer, and I think I had 7. There was a block you can put out on this. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to block it entirely, Deb, because there are times. I mean, it's easy to ignore or to say, hey, thanks, maybe later, or next time. You know, unless you truly never want to do it. I mean, if it came down to that, and I truly never wanted to do the shared chat again, well, then yeah, I might put a block on it and say, you know. But that's really not my case, you know. Sam Nation's got that turned on. No wonder. So yeah. So again, I go back and forth about it, you know. You know. 81 said, I tried doing that, but I guess I'm not tech enough. 81, I don't know how to do it either. I don't know how to start a shared chat. If 81 was playing and I saw 81 on, hey, let's do a shared chat, I have no idea how to do it. No idea whatsoever. I rely on people inviting me. And again, I don't always say yes. You know, it's just a matter of how I'm feeling at that point in time. You never know. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what the thought process of with Twitch was when they built it into the program. What do you call it? Added it in. You know, what were they thinking? Was it that it will increase viewership? It'll give you it'll expand your community, because it does. It does expand your community. Shared chat is awesome for gamers doing multiplayer. Oh, okay. Well, see, and again, since we DJs are such a small part of Twitch, you know, they probably didn't take us into consideration. Twitch wants us to collaborate, and again, you know, I think that on some levels or in some areas that does help. I have gotten followers from the shared chat. I can't say that I've gotten more viewers from the shared chat. Lockpick, we talked about you earlier, by the way, says, every time I see someone who always does the shared chat as a DJ, it feels like they are just trying to harvest raids from people they see online. Hey, let's share chat, and then you can raid. Yeah, and okay, so I can touch bases on that. So yeah, Lockpick. In fact, since I already dropped his name, I'll drop it again. That DJ Troy, who is the main individual that invites me to shared chats. You're right. When I'm doing a shared chat and time comes for me to raid out, I feel obligated to raid into somebody in the shared chat. Whether it be the guy that invited me or one of the other streamers. I do feel that, right? So I've talked to Troy about it, specifically about that, because there are people I like to raid. Dance DJ Deb, I like to raid. Xanadu. Well, I don't know if I've ever raided Xanadu because I don't know if our times have ever jimed up. But people outside the shared chat. And Troy has told me, don't worry about it. If you want to raid somebody, just go for it. I appreciate you just hanging out with us tonight. So he is not overly concerned about it, right? Troy is cool with that, to raiding outside the shared chat. So that is a positive for me, right? I don't feel like I'm obligated to have to raid into the shared chat, at least when it's with Troy. So that's cool because I mean I do like to try to share the love. I mean, again, I don't. Whenever I get a chance to raid out, I get some people that'll raid me. I'll get a good number. Yeah, if I can share that to somebody, that's great. I like that, and you're always hoping. You're trying to build that community, so you're always hoping that if you raid into somebody at some point in time, that eventually, they're going to return the favor, right? That's kind of how it works. One hand washing the other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. You rub my no, never mind. You know, Something along those lines. Now, it doesn't always work out that way because I know that people's time frames don't always mesh up, right? There have been people that I've rated a number of times that have rated me either not at all or seldom. And sometimes when I see them on, I'll think to so here's another question for you guys if you're there. So do you ask you're on, you see on your list over here, you see, oh, this is why do you reach out to those people, say, hey, by the way, if you need a raid target, I'm here if you want to raid me? Do you ask for a raid? Well, yes, lockpick is a certain situation, yeah. But just on your everyday stream, you never ask for a raid? Yeah, I have. I've done it a couple of times where I've worded it like, well, I mean, I guess I'm asking. I word it like, hey, I'm going to be off next couple hours. If you need a raid target, raid me. I don't do it all the time. I don't do it often, but I have done it. Does it happen all the time? No. But I lack coffee to think about that. I'm happy to press start stream. But I don't know. Yeah, I go back and forth. That I see now, Sam. If you were on and you saw me on, and you knew I was gonna raid out before you got off. If somebody asked me, because I never know who I'm gonna raid, and I like sharing the love. It's the struggle is real. Supporting. I think maybe I would. I think maybe I wouldn't ask somebody that I hadn't rated before. Like I wouldn't just out of the blue, go to, I don't know, DJ Dark Angel's on. I don't think I've ever rated DJ Dark Angel. I probably wouldn't go to Dark Angel. Go, hey, I'm on. If you want to raid me, that would be great. I asked if someone catch up here. 81 says I have asked if someone is going to raid. Going to be on the raid. Yeah, raid them. Yeah. Sam Nation, I try to be specific about raids. Friends always come first. I'm going to sneeze again. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Let's see. Specific raids. Friends always come first. The only time if someone asks me and they support me if they're going for partner, that's a whole another conversation. Partner pushers are a whole nother conversation. Thank you, DC Artist. Thank you, Deb, for blessing me. Somebody better. Yeah. I only raid pool streamers with giant tatas. Thank you, my salami. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're all making me question my thought process here. When it's hard because when I get ready I guess we're going way to hell overtime, aren't we? This is crazy. I don't know if I've ever done a chat with Chuck this long before. The problem that I have is when I go to raid out and I see more than one individual that I would like to raid, is how do I choose, right? because I feel guilty, right? If I don't raid somebody, it's like, well, God, and then I kind of feel like, I don't know, rock paper scissors, if chat with Chuck lasts longer than 4 hours, seek a doctor. Yeah. Um, because I mean, I've had some very supportive individuals that have supported, my streams, either just with viewership or chatting or biddies and subs, and sometimes I feel like, God, I don't rate them enough, Um, Okay, thank you, lockpick. I was trying to think if I figure out a way to bring that up, but okay. I always look at the people that I'd like to raid, then raid the person. Yes, and I feel the same way. Especially with me, because I'm not trying to woe is me or whatever, but I rarely have a lot of people. I mean, I do have those occasions, like I talked about a little earlier. I do have those occasions where I have a lot of people, but rarely do I have like a lot of people. So if I'm looking at somebody and I go, oh, well, yeah, I know XYZ. Oh, they've got 90 people in their room. Well, they don't need my 10 people. They don't need my 15 people. But if this person down here, they've got 8 people, they got 9 people, they got 10. Yeah, they could use my 8 or 10 or 12 people, So, yeah, what Lockpick says is true. Yeah, I will. If I have a choice, chances are I'm going to raid somebody who has fewer viewers because they could probably appreciate it more. They could, yeah, that's it. With a few exceptions, like to raid. I like some variety, so it's whomever I haven't raided in a while. Yeah, I go by how long they are staying. Are they on a train? Who has the least amount? And are they on a partner push? So well, yeah, if they're on a train, I don't worry so much about rating them if they're on a train because, yeah, how long they're on, I always try to find out. Because, I rated a guy the other night, and I rated him, and he played a song. I rated him during his song. The next song he rated out. I kind of felt bad about that. But whatever, that's fine. I support him. Are you rating them if they're on a partner push? Is that a positive or is that a negative? If they're on a partner push, are you rating them because they're on a partner push, or are you rating them? Are you not rating them because they're on a partner push? If you would like to say. Also, I know streamers that raid people who have rated them before. Yeah. It's again, same thing. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. One hand washes the other. I honestly never got the idea of why to raid somebody if raids don't count toward partner. Most of us are never going to see partner. Most of us aren't even trying to get partner, right? So for me, the partner thing is just completely out of the equation, right? I don't care. I'm not thinking that, right? Let's see here. I would feel bad about that. I want the party to keep going. Yeah, especially since I'm slowly coming back on Twitch. Yeah, make sure you're following Xanadu. She's making her comeback. If they refresh after arriving, it counts. I only meant if someone's going for partner. Come on, Chuck. I thought we were gonna go do it. Yeah, Deb. You got a better chance than I do. I'm rating people that I think need the help with my few. I'll forever be a John Lockpick. The smaller streamers I raid more. I mean, I know everybody appreciates a raid, even if they've got 150 people in their room and I raid it with 7, they still appreciate it. I get it, they do. Sometimes Sam Nation says I've been on a 5-year partner push. I don't know. I'm actually kind of surprised that you aren't a partner, Sam. To tell you the truth, I don't know your exact numbers and stuff, but I don't. Other than the fact that you just haven't tried, I don't know why you aren't. Because of technical health issues. Plus, I still don't know how to fix my lag. Xanadu, I would love to be able to help you fix your lag, but I have no idea. maybe if there's anybody in the chat that's technical, that understands the computer lag thing, maybe reach out to Xanadu, send her a message or something. Maybe we can get her lag fixed. I'm not sure. That almost sounds kind of dirty. I don't know. Yeah, we've talked about the technical thing before. All right. Well, I'm 30 minutes overtime. This is the longest chat with Chuck that I think that we have ever had. And I hope that it's been somewhat enjoyable or at least informative for some of you. I do want to thank those of you that support me, that Dance DJ Deb, always the first person to chat, goes on before I even log on. Sam, huge. Thank you so much. Your last stream was like 5 minutes because of lag. Hack, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is the one show that if you don't know, I like mouthing off. I've been mouthing off for an hour and a half, and I could probably keep going. But I'd like to leave them wanting more, kind of thing. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to we're going to do the closing, and then I'm going to play music for about a half hour or so. And as I like to do, I like to calm down. You're going on after a Nightlife's mouthing off crown. Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know if there's anybody that mouths off as much as I do. Yeah, I really don't. So anyway, so what we're gonna do is, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do our little closing. We're gonna stop recording. We're gonna play some music. So do me a favor, if you want, stick around for some music, and I hope that I see you all next week.
Thanks for listening to Chat with Chuck. Have something you want Chuck to riff about? Send him a whisper and get ready to be entertained. I'm Greg Murray. Thanks for listening.